So Disney finds itself in another controversy. Couldn't happen to a nicer company. No, but like, I am so sick and tired of seeing people at Disney lacking any sort of creativity anymore. Like, they are incapable of producing stuff that's good. I mean, right now, all they're doing is they're taking their previous franchises and they're putting them in a live adaptation and charging you money for it. It's like, why would I pay for something that I already know? Like, I've already seen the story. Why do I want to see it again? It makes absolutely no sense, but there's people still going and giving them cash, so obviously they're going to keep up. And then there's like these stupid excuses like, oh no, they need to do something about it because then they lose the IP. So make a sequel. Make a TV show. Make something else. And you know what? So what if they lose the IP? So what if they lose it? Let people, have it in the public domain and make stuff. Like, if you're a creative company and you're capable of actually producing stuff, there should be no problem. They're like, okay, you lost Bambi. Were you going to make a Bambi 2? Like, do you think if you make a Bambi 2, it's going to be better than the Bambi 1? Probably not. Like, these are stories that I think should be left alone. Personally. I just... And they're not pulling everything else that's interesting on the market. I mean, I am the type of person that I'm going to say I didn't like Frozen. I genuinely did not like Frozen. And I'm not saying it was bad, but when you compare it with other things that came before, like Pocahontas or Aladdin, The Lion King, like all of these were just mind-boggling. When a Disney movie came out, man, everyone got together to watch it. Now it's like, well, Frozen, I mean, that was kind of good, Not to mention, like, their latest films, like, all they push is the idea that true love doesn't happen. Like, and I watched with, not just in Frozen, but the other one, Maleficent, right? It's like love between a man and a woman that's pure and innocent. No, that doesn't exist. You get these vibes, because all of these live adaptations are wokeified, and they're made sure it's like, oh yes, we shouldn't offend anything, Like, for example, in Aladdin, they removed the part in the song where he says he's got slaves, he's got servants and hanki, and they removed that. And there was another one where he says it's barbaric, but hey, it's home, and now it's a place where you meet every culture and tongue. It's chaotic, but hey, it's home. Like, they try to wokeify all of this shit for no reason whatsoever. Like, no one is asking for this. We all know the previous lyrics, but whatever. Yeah, Mulan. Mulan. I remember Mulan. I remember it quite well because I skipped school that day. I skipped school because I had a math test, and I broke out of jail. Sorry, I broke out of school. Kind of the same thing if you think about it. But anyway, so I couldn't go home because, like, I had to explain. It's like, why am I not in school? So I go watch Mulan. And man, it was mind-blowing. Like, I thought it was just excellent. It was one of the best movies I have seen at the time. It was just really, really good. Really well done. The songs, the themes. The themes, right? If you're a movie critic, you need to talk about the themes. The themes were about family unit, tradition, defending one's country against savage invaders. All the type of themes that you gotta get the vibe they're not going to be able to wokeify them. And I saw the trailer. And either they made the trailer in such a way to make the movie look more woke than it is, or the movie is actually woke and horrible. Because in the trailer, it's like she was supposed to get married and she already was frowning. It's like, I need to marry a man. Like, daddy is telling me to marry. And then, like, the other thing is that Mulan, her strength was never combat, right? Like, she wasn't good at fighting one-on-one. She was just another soldier with a bow and arrow. She was what we like to call a believable character. Like, struggling and finding hardship in the position that she was placed. But she was able to outsmart things, right? Like, she was able to use her weights in order to climb up and get the arrow. She was able to think about creating an avalanche in order to defeat the Huns. That was her strength, right? But she had many other flaws. Being weak was one of them. Like, anyone else from there could have kicked her ass. That wasn't the point. And now I see her doing all of this jutsu shit and fighting against 4 other people fully armored and twice her size, and doing like all this wall running and all of this. It's like, okay, well, you didn't understand what this movie was about. I'm pretty sure that the Chinese are going to look at the Baizu with disgust when this movie finally starts airing in China. Which is kind of funny because it's supposed to be a Chinese story, right? But like, they can't help themselves. They really can't help themselves. Like, if it's a believable character, like, how do you want me to actually feel for the character? How do you want me to get invested in their struggle if I'm going to already see that they do all this kung fu shit and they win anyway? I mean, yeah, I remember, when I was watching the original and the Han finally confronted her, it was definitely a scary moment because it's like, well, she's just a pipsqueak compared to that massive monstrosity of a Han, that massive corporeal manifestation of a Han. But yeah, no, now it's probably going to do a little bit of a kung fu stuff, and she's going to win the day, and then the Emperor is going to tell her that she's an amazing woman, and the entire China is going to bow to her, and yeah, that's probably what we're going to get. However, that's not what the controversy is about. That's why I'm not going to see the shitty movie. The controversy, apparently, there was an actress which sided with the cops regarding the protests in Hong Kong. What do you mean she sided with the cops? Isn't Disney Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter! It's like, oh, well, police violence, it's horrible. Yeah. And they hire a woman that's like, oh no, the police should beat the living shit out of the protesters from Hong Kong. And it's like, well, hold on a little bit. I thought you're a moral company. I thought you're a bastion of morality, the cathedral of progressiveness like Disney. When I don't know right from wrong, I go and I ask the mouse, and he looks down at me, this is what you need to do. You need to make sure that you defund the cops. Bail on the protesters. That's what I go into when I'm a little bit confused, when my moral compass is broken. I look towards Disney, and look who's Disney hiring. They wanted to take a moral stance, not I. Like, I just wanted entertainment, but apparently, no. Everything is political. Oh, I see. Well, if everything is political, how can you side against the protesters from Hong Kong? You should have been asking to defund the Chinese police. Huh? Is this not it? Is this not... Oh... and apparently, they filmed in a place of China, Xinjiang, which is the place where the Chinese are having their detention centers for the Uyghurs, which apparently upset a lot of people, not just from the United States, but it upset also people from China and abroad. I love how China explains the detention camps. They're saying they're important for Chinese national security. Oh, I see. I mean, if it's important for national security, then fuck human rights. I mean, who? Look at this. China says its detention camps in Xinjiang are necessary to improve security. Well, if it's necessary to improve security, then fuck human rights. There was like another scandal where a bunch of wigs came into the United States, hair and weaves and whatnot, and apparently they were made with the hair of the Uyghur prisoners. Isn't that beautiful? Is that not ushi-kushi? I am starting to understand that all of this talk and yappity-yap and philosophy immediately falls when the country has money. If the country has money, then all of the morality goes to hell. We care about human rights and about democracy. Man, if ISIS was to have a Netflix, a streaming service like Netflix, these actors and all of these moral people would start calling their agent. I have no doubt about it. I mean, look at Nazi Germany. Like now everyone is shaming and like wiggling their fingers. It's like, look how evil Germany used to be. Back then, they were making deals with it. They were buying automobiles, they were buying clothing, they were buying Zeppelins, and no, seriously, like there's a blimp that caught fire in America, and if you look at it, it has a swastika on it. Why do you think that is? Money talks. Money talks. So, if Disney would just shut the fuck up about their morality, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't even complain. But if you want to be political, love, then fine, let's be political. Let's be political. And I'm not going to do business with hypocritical companies that say one thing and do another. Like at this point, I would rather do business with the Chinese company because at least the Chinese are honest. It's like, yeah, we abuse the Uyghurs. Yeah, it's important for security. Don't like it, fuck off. And I'm like, you know what? Like heart beating in the chest. An honest company, goddammit. Do you know how rare they are?